Yo, what's going on, snipers, and welcome back to our Edmonton Oilers Throwback 2010 franchise mode here in NHL 25. So in last episode, if you did not catch it, we had free agency and also some RFA negotiations, which kind of went a little bit sideways because we thought we were going to be able to get Sam Gagner on a long-term deal potentially in the offseason, at least until Cameron was ready to take a spot. However, for some reason, Sam Gagner has just not wanted to accept a contract extension here. We've been giving him a ton of money. He's still been rejecting, and he's still an RFA at the start of the preseason. So there's a good chance that he either holds out this entire year as an RFA, or we potentially flip him away and get some assets back for him. He is 23 years old, and he's probably almost at his peak, I would say. He could get better, obviously, if he plays with some good players and all that, but I'm not really too sure why he doesn't want to come back to his organization. He doesn't have a lot of interest in our organization as a whole, so it's kind of unfortunate because I would have liked to have held on to him at least for a few more years, but it just seems like it's going to get eventually too pricey because if we go to like offer contract right now, he only wants 3.775, but we've put this up at like in the offseason to like $8 million, and yet he still rejects a lot of the time. So I think what we're going to probably look to do is we're probably going to keep him as a holdout at the start of the season. We're going to readjust our trading block, and we're going to see if there's any offers out there for him that would actually help our team down the road instead, just because obviously he might make us too good right now as well. So that might be another thing we take into account, because we did technically draft already a replacement for Sam Gagner in a way, because this Cameron guy who we drafted 5th overall, he's pretty much the exact same type of player as Sam Gagner, but he's obviously got better potential. So I think obviously making this guy our top line center right now might be a better play in a way, because he should be able to get to where Sam Gagner is before he's 23, because Sam Gagner's an 88 at 23, this guy's an 81 at 18, so hypothetically in 5 years, Cameron could even be like a 91, 92 overall. So I think we're obviously going to run with that. We also do have already some other younger centers like Marcoux as well, who we drafted, who's already going to get a chance. Maybe he gets a lot of growth and becomes that second line center that Sam Gagner currently kind of is. So we're probably going to end up running with this current lineup that we currently have and funneling some offers at least for Sam Gagner just to kind of see what is thrown at us. And if there's any interesting trades that we could consider them, we might accept one of them, or we might just wait until we actually decide to flip them, which could be at the deadline this year, or it could be before the December 1st RFA signing deadline. So anyways, with that said, let's get into your guys' comments, see what you guys have to say about last episode, and then we'll get into adjusting our block and seeing if we get any offers thrown at us for Sam Gagner. So the first comment is from Sour Taku, who just says trade Gagner, and that's probably the plan. I really wanted to hold on to him for a little bit longer, considering he's now on the thumbnail and all that, but it seems like we're going to have to find a new thumbnail athlete for this series already, which I'm not too sure who I want as the thumbnail athlete, so I want your guys' opinions. Who should be the cover athlete for this series now that we're probably going to be moving on from Gagner? Is it going to be somebody like Cogliano, Jordan Eberle maybe? It's just because Eberle is definitely a part of the future still here. I'm not too sure who else would really deserve it. I mean, we could go with Cameron, but I would have to probably jump into a game randomly and just get a screenshot of him playing, so that way we could actually get him as a like kind of doing a move or something like that for the thumbnail. So I want you guys' opinions, who you think should be on the thumbnail going forward, just because obviously if we do trade Gagner, then we need a new athlete again, just like when we moved out from Malashemsky. The next comment is from Tyler G 1994, who says, yeah, if Gagner doesn't want to sign, I wouldn't be too keen on overpaying for him. I would trade him for something that fits the rebuild or let him sit. Honestly, even let him sit till December 1st. Maybe then he'll come down, sign a 1-year deal, and move him at the draft. And yeah, that could be a thing too. Maybe we don't want to obviously trade him during the season. Maybe we trade him at the draft instead. So obviously we'll probably take offers still for him and we'll adjust our trading block. But if he isn't willing to accept a contract by December 1st for the rest of the season, we could always move out from him. Or maybe we just let him sit the entire year and eventually maybe he'll start thinking about accepting. But likely right now, I don't think he might not want to accept, just because that organizational interest is so low. And the last and final comment is from Jared the Rabbit, who says, Gagner might be too good for this team. Perhaps you should in fact trade him, as others are suggesting. Maybe trade him for a young guy who isn't doing as good currently. So yeah, we will probably look into some trades obviously for him as well, but we are just going to see if the AI has any offers thrown at us once we edit the block. So let's go ahead and go to edit the trading block and get this set up and maybe see if there's any offers that the AI will throw at us right now. If there's nothing crazy, we'll just wait and see if the AI starts to throw offers at us, and maybe he gets dealt at the trade deadline, maybe he gets dealt before then, maybe he gets dealt at the draft coming up. But it's kind of unfortunate that it's come to this because, like I said, I kind of wanted to hold on to him at least for a few more years, but he has been a little bit of a douchebag when it comes to this contract negotiation. So he will be on our trading block. And yeah, we'll keep the rest of that the same. What we want back, though, is going to be crucial, obviously, for a good return. So we definitely want to just put any defenseman so we could get any good young defensive prospect. And we'll probably put like 17 to 26. We'll do 3 to 5 stars. And we will go with low to high, I guess, just so we can get more offers thrown at us. And we'll do that for defense, for goaltending, and for offense as well, because we could use pretty much anything at this point. We probably need defensive prospects more than forwards, but honestly, I'm willing to take pretty much anything for Sam Gagner that has good potential. So maybe there'll be a good AI trade that we can make already in this episode, but it might end up being next episode instead, or the episode after that. So we'll go with that. We don't really need goalie prospects, though, so goalie prospects are probably the last thing I would trade Gagner for. It'd probably be more forwards or defense I'd want in return. Probably a forward would be maybe make more sense, just because we obviously will kind of just want to replace Gagner. But like I said, Marcoux could end up developing maybe into a top 6 forward at some point, too. So I don't really care about maybe third round picks are okay, but later than 4th rounders are not super important. So we will just basically do first 3 rounds that we're willing to take on in these type of deals. So let's go to the trade finder now and see if there's anything thrown at us for Sam Gagner potentially. Gagner is not even losing morale because he's not under contract right now, which is kind of funny. So if we go to find trade, is there actually any new offers? Because there was one offer that was thrown at us last time, but it was a veteran player. So now that we've adjusted our block, is there any new offers? There is this one. They sweetened the pot a bit. I do not want Marian Gaborik on this team because it would make us too good right now. But they'd be willing to add Stefan Nason basically and Magnus Hellberg, so they would give us some prospects on top of Gaborik. But like I said, I don't want Gaborik right now because he doesn't make really much sense for this team. Gagner would also probably make the Rangers too good because he'd be down the middle of Kucherov and Phil Forsberg likely. So I don't think that's a good place for us to send Sam Gagner, at least not yet. So, with that said, let's simulate through the preseason and see how our team does in the preseason. And yeah, I'm excited to see what some of the young guys end up doing this season, like Chase Cameron especially, because Cameron's getting a huge opportunity with Gagner not wanting to accept a contract extension. I didn't even see what that trade offer was, but I don't think it was an offer that was that important. Yeah, because we're not even trying to move out from Rhino Byrne right now. This wouldn't be a bad offer, obviously moving from a 4th to a 3rd rounder, just giving up Rhino Byrne, but we're not trying to shed salary cap right now. So, because I think we're still kind of under the cap at the moment. Oh yeah, wait, let me stop the sim here. Because we'll be automatically adjusted if we do not sign somebody to make us cap compliant. So, how much money do we got? 24 million. I know we're still under the floor, I think, potentially, right? Let me just double check on that. Yeah, we're well under the floor, so we'd be automatically adjusted if we do not sign a player that quick. So we probably should sign some players to outrageous contracts. So we'll probably just sign a random AHL guy, low-end talent. Let's sort this by overall. Wow. PA Parento is still a free agent, which is kind of surprising. There's still some guys on the board, even Patrick Coletta. Huh. Let's go to lower overalls and let's see who's the worst. Actually, they would probably all want the ELCs then. Maybe we'll sign like a 75 overall or something like that. We don't have a lot of contract room, so let's see. Actually, let's sort by potential for a second. Maybe that would be a nice little thing. Coletta's technically the best potential. I mean, I guess I could sign Patrick Coletta in a way, but he is listed as a 4th liner, so he's likely to complain. He's just a physical presence, pretty much. I don't know if that really makes much sense then. Maybe I'll just sign like somebody that's a good AHL ringer like Brett Sterling, and we'll sign him to a one-way deal and just give him a ton of money just to hopefully get us to the floor. Which I don't know if this will even get us to the floor, but he'll just help out our AHL team a little bit or be a healthy scratch down there. So let's do $9.5 million. There you go, Brett. Take that money And I don't know why it says that we have invalid lines now. Did it send somebody down after I made that adjustments? Oh, no, we have just too much people in the NHL, right? Okay, that would make sense. So we'll send Brett Sterling down because we're not using him in the NHL. We're just signing him to basically give us more of a cap hit. I wonder if I could throw him into the lineup down in the AHL. I just don't want to take away time from the minor league guys, but it would be nice to make sure that AHL team is super strong. So let's go to the AHL for a second. I'm trying to think of who I would take out. I guess I could take out Redix, hypothetically, move PayRV up and all that stuff. So I could always just, like, take Redix fully out of... Oh, actually, wait, we have to take Gagliardi out of the lineup for a second here, because Gagliardi's a defenseman. So having Sterling here is actually a good idea. So let's just go with something like that. Trying to help out the offense down in the AHL. And then Zherdev actually has good potential, so I'm going to readjust these lines a little bit here. Janssen's only got low 7th potential, but he's a 69, which is not bad. So I might as well just take Theo Peckham out of the lineup, and we'll get Gagliardi playing since he's got some potential. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, perfect. So that is going to be our lineup in the AHL. NHL is still going to be the exact same. And yeah, we'll see if we end up finding a way to sign Sam Gagner. But I don't know if that's going to be the case. Proposed trade, do we have enough cap now? Yep, we're over the floor just barely. So now we won't have our salaries adjusted, which I think is kind of a crucial thing for us to have, is not to get adjusted. So at least we were able to sign a free agent. But actually, how did the preseason go? 2-2. I want to take a look at the player stats from the preseason just to see how our 5th overall pick did in his first ever preseason. Patrick O'Sullivan led with 4 points in 4 games. Nyquist had 4 points. Nyquist could have a pretty solid rookie year. We'll see what he ends up doing. He is only an 80, but could be decent. Boychuk was point per game. Not really that bad in terms of depth scoring. Eberle only had a goal, so hopefully he's better this season. Oh yeah, what about the season goals? I should have given out some of those. And I also have to reassign the scouts. I almost forgot about that. I reminded myself last night, but I completely forgot. So let's go and do that. I know it's a little bit of extra stuff, but let's see what we got here in terms of scouts. So 2 WHL, 3 OHL. We need to readjust one of these OHLers, so we'll send one of these OHLers to... Do we have multiple in Russia right now? Yes, we do. What about in Sweden or Finland? I don't think so, right? SHL, we only have one, so we'll... Or actually, was that the SHL or Liga? No, that was SHL, I think. Alright, so there's that. So 2 Russia. We don't need 3 in Liga either, so we'll change region for this one over to, I guess, Germany, if Germany doesn't have one. Germany only has 1, but that's fine. Those are the countries that don't need them as much. So we will go with... Allsvenskan doesn't matter that much at all. Liga has 2 already, so I guess not Europe then. I guess we'll go back over to North America. Yeah, we need some in USA a bit. So we'll go with USA West, because we need to make sure we have 2 in USA West, East, and Central. So yeah, we need 1 more in a Central, which means we need to move one of these guys over. I know it's a lot of extra stuff. I apologize. I meant to do this before I recorded, but you guys can kind of see how I set up the scouts and stuff like that if you want. Because I try and even it out as much as possible. Obviously, when we're doing draft glories and stuff like that, it's going to be a little bit different. But I basically try to make sure that all of North America has at least 2 scouts per league, basically. So we got to get 2 in the queue as well. And then that should be all we need to address. Yeah, just this guy has to go to the queue, and then that'll be all good. And also I try to get like 2 at least in Russia, because Russia usually has a good chunk of prospects, so... And then same with Sweden and Finland, usually get 2, and then basically the normal like other European countries like Germany and stuff like that, we only put 1. So that's all set up and ready to go now. Perfect. Just wanted to make sure on that. I think that's all we needed to do before we start. We could do some season goals, but actually, you know what? We'll give a season goal to Cameron because he's obviously a really good prospect. We might as well see if he could... Should I give him a chance to win Rookie of the Year? I mean, he's in a really good spot to win it. You know what? We're going to give him an award challenge and see if he could win the Calder this year. I'd like to see if Chase Cameron could win the Calder. If he could win the Calder, that'd be absolutely awesome for this team. So it's going to be tough, obviously, because our offense is not going to be super crazy good, but he's in a really good spot to succeed. Next to Patrick O'Sullivan and Jordan Eberle, I think he could succeed there. He's also on the first line power play. Yeah, I don't even know if there's any way I'm going to want to sign Sam Gagner, to be honest, because I feel like giving Cameron that top line time and all that is way more beneficial at this point. So we'll see if we get into any more negotiations with Sam Gagner or not this season, but there's a chance we might not. Let's go 1 month and see what we're doing. Hopefully this team's not simulating that good. Obviously, we do have a bad coach still technically, so we shouldn't really do that well. And we got shut out 6-0 in our first game of the season, which is kind of funny. Mark Popovic on waivers, don't need him. We lost to Dallas 5-4. At least that's a good offensive game. And Sterling already got injured. I literally signed him to a crazy contract for the AHL, and he gets injured in like the first game pretty much. That's kind of insane. Oh well. Calgary's a 4-1 loss. LA's a 3-1 loss. Yeah, this is exactly what we kind of want from this team. I really hope it's an interesting draft class for us at least, though. As Lucas Spiza goes down with an injured knee, out till the 18th, so not long term. Calgary, 4-1 loss again. Sterling's already back for the AHL. Well, might as well put him back in. Because Theo Peckham's not really a forward. He is a physical defenseman, so it kind of makes sense for him to play forward at times, but I don't really want him up there. I want the AHL team to do well if possible. So hopefully having Sterling on that second line could help out Burmistrov a lot. That's my hope, at least by signing him. Vancouver, 6-3 loss. Joachim Andersen's been injured now in the AHL. A lot of injuries to start off the season. We have not won our first game yet. And as I said, there's a win over Dallas. So we do win a game in the first month at least, which is kind of good. We do still kind of want to win some games, but we don't want to win too much where we're not competitive. Or where we're competitive. That's what I'm trying to say. Chorney could come out of the lineup. We'll get Spiza back in. I think Rhino Byrne was actually the scratch before, though, wasn't he? Yeah, he was. So we got to take Rhino Byrne out for a second here to get Chorney back in. And we'll take Spiza out. Oh, boy, now what am I doing here? Now I'm getting myself confused here. Take Chorney out again. Get Spiza in this spot. And then take O'Byrne out and put Chorney in that spot. Our defensive core, like, I don't know why Spiza is down to a 75. Like, I don't know if it's morale related or what, but seems like a lot of guys are lower end than I expected. There's an 8-4 loss to LA, a 6th-round pick in Rhino Byrne for, what Anderson is that? Josh Anderson? Yeah, that's probably Josh Anderson. I don't really need Josh Anderson at this point. We're not really trying to trade for anything at the moment because or else we'd be below the cap. As Nyquist goes down with back spasms, kind of realistic because Nyquist always has injury problems, I'm pretty sure in real life, or at least as of late. Let's go replace player. St. Louis, 3-2 OT win. Nice to win another game. I'll take it. Calgary's a 4-2 loss. LA again. Barclay Goodrow for a 6 and Rhino Byrne. No, thank you. But literally, we could easily get a top 9 prospect for Rhino Byrne, so that's at least good to know. So if we do decide to trade O'Byrne at some point, we can. All right, so Peckham's going to come back out of the lineup, and in comes Joachim Andersen again. So that will help out the defensive play on that bottom 6 a bit. Hopefully the AHL's doing well. Hopefully they are. Let me stop the sim because I cannot see what's going on here. We lost to the Blues. 2 more games left this month. Colorado and Minnesota. Colorado's a loss 6-2, and apparently we're fully healthy now, which means I think there must have been some players that were just temporarily injured, right? Let me see. Nyquist is the only one that's back. Nyquist is an 82 overall now at this point, so I'm pretty impressed that Gustav Nyquist is getting some good growth playing in that top 6, because that's definitely going to be nice for the future, having a good guy behind Eberle. So 3-12 in the first month, obviously a really rough first month of the season, but that's kind of to be expected. We're tanking for whoever goes first overall this year, which would be Nathan MacKinnon, because this is the 2013 year. So I don't know who else is in this draft class. That would be in, actually, I do know who would else be up there, Barkov and all that, but aside from that, I don't know who would be up there for generated prospects. So not a great first month. We are 29th in goals for, 29th in goals against, 26th on the power play, and 24th on the PK. And currently the team leader in points through 15 games is Jeff Petrie with 9 points, which is not good for the rookie year potentially for Cameron. Cameron is also not leading the rookie points. That's Carl Hagelin right now leading us with 8 points so far as a rookie. So literally, our rookies might end up leading us in points at the end of the season, which is kind of insane. All right, let's continue to simulate. Continue to simulate. We'll probably just take it 1 month at a time. Actually, let's talk to Sam Gagner because we only have a month left to sign him. I wanted to see. I don't know if I want him on this team, though. Like I said. Yeah, I think I might honestly just leave him unsigned the entire year. Let me just see. How much is he asking for now at this point? His asking price probably came way down. No, went up. Well, Sam, you're going to get your wish. You're going to probably be getting dealt in next episode or this episode. But 4.25 for a year. I think I'm just going to keep him unsigned. It's just going to make us too good if we sign him right now, I think. Potentially. I mean, how has Cameron been on the first line out of curiosity? I don't really want to rush his development too much, but might be okay. 4 points in 15 games, minus 13. Well, I don't think he's going to win Rookie of the Year up on the top line. So if I sign Sam Gagner still to 1-year deal, Cameron goes down to the third line, Marcoux to the fourth line. That's not terrible. You know what? Maybe we will sign Sam Gagner for the rest of the season. Just trying to think. Just because it seems like it's hurting Cameron playing top line time right now. And I don't think there's going to be any new offers for Sam Gagner. We'll check just to make sure, but we might trade him still next episode, even if he's under contract. Yeah, there's no trades found for him on an open block. So nobody wants to trade for him anymore, which means the Rangers are not interested in him anymore, which is kind of surprising. I don't know if that means they traded Gaborik. Let's double check on that for fun. Did they trade Gaborik yet? Because they were interested in Gagner. No, they did not trade Gaborik yet. He's just not on their block anymore. All right, Rangers are actually making some good headway a little bit. They aren't doing that great, 7-5-2, but they were the worst team the last 2 years in the NHL. So, with that said, let's go back to maybe talk to Sam Gagner. Yeah, I think we're going to talk to Sam Gagner. I don't know if he'll make us too good to signing him for the year, but right now Cameron's not doing that well as a top-line guy, and I kind of want to shelter him a little bit. So moving him to the third line, Marcoux down to the fourth line might be not a bad idea. Because Marcoux actually has 4 goals and 6 points. So he has been outscoring Cameron. So I think it's good to shelter Cameron a little bit. So let's go to RFAs and see if Sam Gagner would take a 1-year deal of what he's asking for now. If he's still rejecting, he's not going to come back. He's not going to. If he accepts the money, we'll have him for the year. Or for up until the trade deadline. But let's see if he'll accept. Or unless he's still going to be a douchebag about it. Let's see. Sterling's been injured now with a fractured jaw in the AHL. Goddamn. So Sterling's still getting injured apparently in Springfield. And Sam Gagner is still rejecting the offer. Even though that's exactly what he's asking for. Well, I mean, we might have to just deal with what we're having. Sam Gagner still does not want to sign, and it's November the 4th. Well, that is very, very unfortunate. I do think we're going to shelter Cameron a little bit. So Brulet's going to go to the top line. Cameron's going to go down to the third line. Riley Nash is going to go second line, and Marcoux is going to go fourth line. Kind of want to give those guys a little bit of a gradual taste of the NHL instead now. Riley Nash as a second line center really does not seem great. But that's probably the play. Because I could use Cogliano as a center hypothetically, but he doesn't have good face-off stats. I'm trying to think if there's anybody else that could take draws okay here. Nyquist maybe. Oh yeah, Nyquist technically could maybe in a way. He is a playmaker too, but I don't know about having him up there. I mean, I could. You know what? I think I'll just use Riley Nash as that second line center. We don't really want to be that good still. And then defensively, is there any pairing that needs to be readjusted? The top pairing's actually not bad in plus minus, surprisingly. But that second pairing is absolutely abysmal. Justin Falk is having a really tough time offensively too. So I am going to move Falk down to the top 6. Just to try and shelter him a little bit too. Seems like a lot of the young kids are having a tough time. So even though we're playing bad right now, I just don't want our young guys to be playing so bad that they get hurt. Or they just like lose morale. So, yeah, Sam Gagner is not getting signed for the rest of the season. We've already made up our mind on that decision. He just won't accept contracts even into November. So, let's keep the team the same, though. Go to November the 30th. But This is kind of interesting. I don't think I've ever had to have an RFA holdout all year when I've had the cap space. Hey, we got a 1-0 shutout over Minnesota. That's pretty impressive. As Marcoudi youngster has now been injured with a sore foot. He's out till the 29th, so that kind of hurts a little bit for the young kid. But hopefully he's not too injury prone in his career going forward. We just beat Minnesota for the second time. Damn, Minnesota must not be very good. Not very good at all if they're losing to us that convincingly. So we'll take Peckham back out of the lineup here in the AHL. We'll get Sterling back in. How is the growth in the AHL looking? Not bad. I mean, Burmistrov, Hodgson, Toffoli all could make the NHL probably soon. Maybe even Payarvi, Omark. Safronov's up to 76-2 as a medium 6D. That's pretty impressive. I like that. Zhurdev up to a 73. I think we're getting some good growth in the system. Grubauer's close too. I like that a lot. I wonder how Vasilevsky's doing unsigned. Hopefully he's growing, because I think that was a good decision keeping him unsigned for now. Because then he could literally come to the NHL maybe next season even. I know about Sam Gagner. We're just going to hold him out because he's just being a douchebag. Which is weird because in real life I feel like Sam Gagner probably is a nice guy, but in this game he's just not that nice. So he's going to get his wish and he's going to get dealt away at some point. But he's not going to get to play the rest of the season because he's not going to be under contract. So we'll take Trevor Lewis out of the lineup. Get Marcoux back in. Not that bad having Trevor Lewis play as a depth option here. Because at least he's kind of like a veteran kind of guy at this point almost. Hey, a shootout win over Colorado. Columbus, not Columbus. What am I saying? Montreal offering us Forbert and Alos for O'Byrne in fourth. No, thank you. O'Byrne is definitely a guy I would flip, but 6-19-1. We're still doing pretty bad. Is there any improvement from the young guys? A little bit. Where are we in the standings now in terms of stuff? We're averaging only 1.96 goals for per game. We're dead last in offense, second worst defensive team, 25th on the power play, 18th on the penalty kill, so at least there's some promise, but Cogs is now leading with 15 points to lead the team. Let's go to edit lines here and see if there's been any improvement from Cameron and from Marcoux. So Cameron did jump up to an 82 since being demoted. He's only still on 6 points this season, though, with power play time. 2 of his points were on the power play. Oh, boy. He does shoot actually a pretty good amount for a playmaker too. So, I mean, we'll keep him in the NHL, but this is a type of guy that should maybe be more in the AHL right now. Like, he almost had as much preseason points as he does in regular season. It's crazy. At least he's growing, though, so that's at least impressive. Marcoux has not picked up any points since we last looked. Like, he has not had points in 6 straight games. When was the last time Cameron's had a point? Cameron last had a point a few games ago. Before that, a few games. Yeah, it looks like he's had some dry spells. And his plus-minus is obviously atrocious. He's definitely not going to win Rookie of the Year. But, oh well, I guess we gave him maybe too much of an outrageous goal. Defensively, how about Falk? Is he doing better? Nah, he's still trash. Oh my goodness. Falk's literally a two-way defenseman with good passing, but he literally only has 3 points and is minus 30. Is he on the power play? Yeah, he is. I guess our power play is just dog shit, or this coach is probably dragging his team down, basically. We might have to look for a better coach in the offseason, even if it makes us simulate better. Just because it seems like the young guys are doing pretty damn bad in terms of defensive play. AHL looks pretty similar to when we just last looked at it. How is Springfield actually doing in the standings? Let's see. 17-6-3. So at least the AHL is doing good. That's exactly kind of what I want to see from them. So let me go to the trade finder again and just see if there's any new offers for Gagner. Obviously, he's not going to be able to get signed this year. No trades are found, still with an open block. Seems like a lot of people do not like his willingness to stay out. Well, he is not going to get the play at all this season now, so good luck to him. Let's continue to simulate. We'll probably go to the halfway point of the season. Next episode, we might go through the rest of the season. We'll see. But let's go through this game against St. Louis. And it's going to be a 7-0 loss. Yeah, this team is going to have a really rough year. This is almost borderline draft to glory. I mean, not necessarily draft to glory because 6-20-1, but this team has been absolutely bad this season. So let's keep it going. We are at how many games played? 27. Let's go to the end of the month, and maybe we'll stop right around that point. But this is a rough year. No offense really from this team whatsoever. And in our defensive play, most of these games have been pretty bad too. But kind of expected it with a bad coach. But that means hopefully we'll have the best odds for the first overall pick. We do beat the Rangers, so I don't know how good the Rangers are now. But maybe we'll have a good odds to getting Nathan MacKinnon, at least with this team. If we get MacKinnon as our first-line center or right winger even playing next to Cameron, that would be actually pretty fantastic. And we're getting offered another trade. It's a goalie prospect in Chistov and Devontae Smith-Pelly for a fifth, Ryan Jones and Ryan O'Byrne. That's a pretty decent offer because Jones and O'Byrne really aren't much. But I don't really feel like making a trade right now like that. I want to get rid of Gagne. Not really too sure on those other guys yet. So, last game of the month against Atlanta, we lose 3-2. We are 7-29-3 at January the 1st. Oof. Only a few more games and we'll be at the halfway point. So let's get through 2 more games. And then we'll be at the halfway point of the season. We'll take a look at some stats and all that. But a really rough first half for this team. We do just beat St. Louis there 2-1 in OT, which they are a team that's actually doing relatively well. So that's a nice little win. But 8-30-3 at the halfway point. Not very good, but at least that should give us a higher up chance to get the first overall pick this year. So right now, in terms of individual stats, though, or not individual stats, just team stats, we are last in goals for, last in goals against. We are last on the power play, but our penalty kill is still 14th in the NHL. So we are very, very bad, but we're good on the penalty kill for the most part. And Eberle is now leading his team in points with 23. But only 23 points in 41 games to lead the team. We are literally going to have barely any guys hit 40 points this year. So this is a very rough year for this Oilers team. And we have officially kind of crossed over into the decade of darkness, I guess, in a way. So let's take a look at some stats here. So in terms of our forwards, we'll look at some stats. We got Eberle and Brule on 23 points apiece. Obviously, really bad plus minuses on all these guys. O'Sullivan's on 21, Cogliano's on 18, Nyquist is on 16, Boychuk on 12, Hagelin on 11. Only 1 goal in 41 games for Carl Hagelin as a rookie. Kind of a rough year in terms of goal scoring for him, but he is a playmaker. Jones on 10 points. Cameron only has 9 and is minus 37. I feel really bad for this guy. He literally came to our NHL team and is absolutely doing atrocious. Like, he's not providing the offense I was hoping for. And then his defensive play has obviously been really bad too. But, goddamn, that's tough. He does like the coaches on this team, though, which is good. But he is just having a tough time. Just tough time. Definitely not going to be a Calder favorite. Then we have Riley Nash on to 9 points as well. Markou's on 7 points. Has more goals than Cameron. D'Agostini 6. Lewis 3 points in 12 games. Yeah, that's a rough time. That's a rough time. The best plus minus on the team is a minus 15 for a guy that's played most games. Worst plus minus is minus 37 from Cameron. Most goals on the team is only 10 goals in 41 games. We might only have 120 goal scorer this season. Yikes. Absolute yikes. From a defensive standpoint, Petrie has 13 points. Smead has 9. Chorney has 5. Spiza has 3. Falk only has 3 still. How is Falk doing so bad offensively? 2 of his 3 points have been on the power play, and he has dropped down to an 80. I think he is losing morale. He is liking the ice time, but the individual performance has been a big issue for him. I do not know if this is a good idea playing a team like this. I feel like we need a new coach almost because I know we've been bad, which is good, but it's also kind of hurting our team maybe a bit more than we were anticipating. O'Byrne's actually been maybe one of our best defensemen, to be honest. That's why people are wanting him. 2 points in 3 games, minus 5. McQuaid's minus 15 in 41 games. Oof. And in the goaltending numbers, Dubnyk has 7 of our wins, an .893 save percentage, of .394 goals against. Delorier only has 1 win in 11 games, has been pulled multiple times already. A .903 save percentage is okay, I guess, for this team, but goddamn. And Delory has the only assist, too. This is really rough, man. Let's take a look around the league, too, at this point, just to see how bad we are by comparison. So, yeah, Malkin's well over point per game on 78 points to lead the NHL. Meanwhile, our leading point getter only has like 20-something points. This is crazy. Crosby's 2, Ovechkin 3, goddamn. 7 up there. Sedin, Backstrom. Most goals so far this year. Daniel Sedin's leading the NHL in goal scoring right now, 38. Damn, a lot of 30 goal scorers, which is more goals than we have points. Just insane. Best defenseman so far is John Carlson, 35 points. Damn, John Carlson's already going to be maybe a Norris winner. That's kind of insane. I mean, I guess I understand why they got rid of Mike Green. Mike Green's production has dropped off a lot, too, since he left. He's in Carolina now. He's only on 24 points in 44 games. So you could kind of say that he was a little bit of a merchant playing with Ovechkin, Backstrom, Semin, those type of guys. But now John Carlson's in that spot, and he's relishing that opportunity quite a bit. Best goalie in terms of wins so far, Jonas Hiller. So the Ducks are doing well. Most shutouts, a lot of guys tied on 3. Best save percentage among starters is going to be Carey Price right now. Kind of surprising. And goals against average is going to be Carey Price. So Carey Price could win a Vezina this season. Supposedly, according to Neeler on Twitter, he's better than Martin Brodeur, which is kind of a weird argument. I'm not too sure what I'd make of it, though. And then most assists so far is Luongo and Conklin. Best rookie so far this season, Nikita Kucherov. Well, yeah, we know we're not getting a Calder Trophy when Kucherov's playing. Kucherov's already up to an 85. Philip Forsberg is also already playing in the NHL as we expected. So, yeah, the Rangers are building up quite a nice little young tandem. They also have Killorn playing in Dallas, who's been good, and Yossi's been really good as a rookie, too. Damn. So there's all that. Let's take a look at some stats from the AHL, too, briefly, because our AHL team at least has been doing good. So we need to go to us and then go to Springfield and see. So Hodgson's over point per game. Yeah, the AHL team looks much, much better. This is what I like to see from the young guys. Hopefully some of them are going to be NHL bound next season. Not a lot of like goal scoring, but a lot of good assists it looks like, which is nice. What about defense? Zherdev on 23 points. Plant on that. Nice. Yeah, I'm liking the way the AHL team's doing. Liking that. Goalies, 911 save percentage from Grubauer, so he is doing better than last year in save percentage. Tuomainen's been not bad either. All right. Yeah, it's looking good. I'm liking the way Springfield's playing. Maybe they could win a Calder Cup while we actually be a really bad team. So there is that. All right, so now that we have seen that stats, the question is, though, is there now any potential offers for Gagne since he's going to be an RFA all year? We could still trade him away, right? Yes, we can, but nobody wants to trade for him. Well, we might have to look for some deals for him, so we'll do that in a little bit. First and foremost, I did actually want to go back to the standings, though, because I do want to see who the worst teams in the NHL are. Like, do we have, like, currently, like, the best odds for the first overall pick? That's probably going to be a given, though, my guess. Let's see. Yep. We're dead last. The next worst team is the Columbus Blue Jackets. They're also doing really bad. Phoenix is doing bad. Ottawa's doing bad. Tampa, Colorado, Buffalo. So it looks like the Rangers took a big step up this year. As the Rangers are all the way up here. They're actually kind of getting close to being a playoff team already, which kind of makes sense because they have Gabrick still and all that. But definitely we are by far the worst team. But I mean, Columbus could fall below us technically too, but they have played less games and all that. So definitely the worst team by far on points percentage. Yeah, almost by 10%. All right. So there's that. Let's take a look at what we could potentially move out Gagne for. We'll look at the trading block because maybe that'll give us a better idea. But we might have to honestly look outside of the trading block afterwards too. So let me remove my face so you guys can see this a little bit better. So Anaheim for prospects has Teddy Bluger, Jimmy Vesey, Anthony Stolars. The thing is, I don't know if anybody's going to want to trade for Gagne since he can't play all year. Like, maybe the draft is where we can move him out from. But if you guys see anything interesting that should be maybe on this team for the future that we could try. Like, there is this medium elite right winger, but he is 57 overall at 20, so that's not very good. But If you guys see anybody that maybe we can move Gagne out for, let me know. I don't know if there's any way we're going to be able to move out from him though, because whoever trades for him basically can't play him until next season. So it's kind of a loss for whoever trades for him. But I don't expect there to be much on the block really anyways that could actually help us, because a lot of these prospects are pretty trash. And then we don't really need veteran players, of course, because we're not trying to make a playoff run. Not that we will make the playoffs anyways at this point. Even if we won every single game coming up, I don't think we'd make the playoffs. So, it's almost that. And there was some young players, I guess, in LA a bit, like Loktionov and Clifford, but we have guys like that already in our AHL team, so it's not really necessary. Montreal, I almost thought that was Martin Erat at first, but it's a generated guy named Matej Erat. Wonder if he'll get traded for Philip Forsberg. There is this guy named Cox as a top 6 forward prospect that looks okay in Nashville. He was dealt from Toronto already, I guess. New Jersey, Brian Rolston and veterans. Don't need them. Svatos. There's this Gallagher guy in New York. But New York's kind of a team that shouldn't be trading their prospects fully yet. So Brian Rust and Gallagher, I think they should honestly hold on to them. But who knows if they'll do that. Ottawa's got more veterans. Philadelphia, Danny Briere. Tim Thomas still kicking at 38. So weird how the NHL gets like so sporadic with where players are now once you get to the later stages. Or, well, later stages, I should say, of like the throwback franchise modes. Damn, Jake Allen's on the block. That's a good goaltender. That's only 22, but we don't really need one because we have Vasilevsky coming up. But Jake Allen's currently still in the AHLs in 84 in St. Louis, because St. Louis does have Yaroslav Halak and Ben Bishop in the NHL, so I guess that's why Allen got put on the block. In real life, Ben Bishop was dealt to, to Ottawa. And then he obviously went into Tampa afterwards for like Corey Conacher. So there's Vorobyov, there's Trocheck. Damn, St. Louis actually has some good prospects on the block, which is kind of surprising. I didn't expect him to be that good at this point. Toronto has more vets. Vancouver, just Jordan Schrader pretty much. Washington, I mean, there's this guy who's a top 6 prospect. But yeah, not really a crazy ton of stuff I would trade for potentially. I mean, there is options, but I don't think any team's going to really want Sam Gagner. Like, if we even go proposed trade with Sam Gagner, is there teams that actually have interest in him? Because there is still teams actually interested in him despite being an RFA and out for the year. So, like, the Ducks have interest. The Bruins have interest. Sabres have interest. The Flames have interest. Actually, a lot of teams might have interest. Carolina does. Columbus does, despite being bad. Dallas does. Detroit does. Florida, LA, Minnesota, Montreal. Yeah, it's mostly every team. Nashville, New York again, Ottawa, Phoenix. Anybody else? St. Louis does. Tampa does not. Toronto does not. Vancouver does. Washington does not. So most of the league has interest in Sam Gagner. So we could probably find a way to flip him, since he's not under contract. But what team would make realistic sense to trade him to? And is there anybody interesting really on those teams to trade for? Like, let's see. St. Louis has interest, and they do have a lot of good prospects on the block. So maybe St. Louis could work. Maybe. But is there prospects I'd be willing to take in? We don't really have a lot of contract room either, so I don't really feel like taking back a lot of contracts, really, either. Tough to say where I would flip them away to. It kind of sucks that there's no trades found on the block. Maybe my block got adjusted. Let me go back to trading block again and just see if it's adjusted or not. No, it's still the same way we set it up at the start of the season. That's interesting. I'm surprised there's no offers found for him then. Yeah, I don't know exactly what I want to deal him away for. Maybe we'd have to wait till the draft. But speaking of the draft, let's take a look at this stuff for a second. We do have 3 second-round picks and 2 thirds this upcoming year. We only have our own first. So if we want more picks in this draft, we can. Let's take a look at the draft class, though, and see what there is for prospects. Obviously, we know the real players, but we don't know the generated ones. So Nathan MacKinnon's still supposed to go first overall. I know I made him a franchise player, so likely, obviously, if we're drafting first overall, Nathan MacKinnon's the easy take. We'd probably put him next to Cameron down the road. Barkov is supposed to go second overall. Then there's a generated guy in Charpentier. Charpentier would be not bad, but we don't really need more centers behind Cameron really that much, I don't feel like. But we could always take more. Elias Lindholm's there. Jake Gensel's not bad. Seth Jones. There are some pretty good players in this draft class, so we should be able to get an elite prospect or multiple elite prospects if we do pick up another first-round pick this year. Generated guy in Peyton Reynolds. Probably a top 4 with a high overall. But yeah, this class is one of the strongest classes in this throwback roster, so we should be able to grab quite a bit of good players in it. Hey, it generated Doughty. Oh, wait, what? No, this isn't even the Drew Doughty I made. I swear to God, that would confuse me for a second because the real Drew Doughty played for Guelph, but a generated prospect named Drew Doughty is supposed to go round 1, playing for Sudbury. It's kind of weird when that happens in these throwback franchise modes when there's a guy with an actual name like that. Like, that confused the hell out of me. It's almost like the Nick Palmieri situation, if you guys remember that, with my throwback roster. I saw another Nick Palmieri. Or was it Kyle Palmieri? It might have been Kyle, actually. So there is that. I actually do also want to briefly take a look at stuff here, just because obviously my next series after my Islanders one ends, I kind of want to see if there's prospects in rest of the world, which there is not. If I go to Allsvenskan, just some Swedes. If I go to Liga, it's mostly just Finns, right? There is a Polish guy too, okay. Because I wanted to see what countries kind of show up in franchise mode a bit. So, alright. SHL, pretty much the same thing. Austrian. Oh, yeah, I have to draft some Austrians, too, in that. Yeah. Well, that's obviously a creative player, though. Burakovsky. Eisliga. Okay. And so I guess there is a lot of prospects from random countries, too. But obviously, if they're not super good, it doesn't make sense. Oh, yeah, Belgian players, too. I didn't even remember that there's Belgian players in franchise mode. Alright, Croatia. Okay. This is just doing some due diligence for my roster franchise coming up. Alright. So there is all of that. Alright, anything else we want to take a look at before we end this episode? Trying to think, because I feel like we should look more in depth a bit on what we could get for Sam Gagner, but I honestly don't know. We might honestly just wait till the draft to trade him away. Maybe we could get a high up first round pick because of that. Because I don't know if there's going to be anything that I really need this year at the moment. Trying to see. Is there anything else? I don't think so. So anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this episode of Edmonton Oilers Throwback 2010 Franchise Mode. So in next episode, we'll look to probably flip away Sam Gagner, or we could easily wait till the draft, depending on what you guys think. If we decide not to make really any trades, we might just let this team play out the rest of the year. It's been a terrible season for this team. So hopefully we somehow win the draft lottery. Obviously, if it was real life, the Edmonton Oilers would always win the draft lottery, it seems like. But obviously, since we're in 2013, maybe not. But obviously, this is a big year. If we get first overall, we could get Nathan MacKinnon. So really hoping that we continue to tank. But I also hope that the young guys kind of improve a bit, because I've been a little bit disappointed by guys like Cameron and stuff like that, but I think it's probably just because of the coaching staff. So if we improve the coaches in the offseason and all that, maybe that'll help him out a little bit, and he will get back to where he probably should be playing at this current point. So think down below, and I'll see you guys next time.